We just got multiple Dallas Cowboy updates as the season is winding down here on some underrated players, a star player, and Coach Brian Schottenheimer speaks out about another assistant coach who his time is very likely coming to an end with the Dallas Cowboys, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Cowboys Football 365. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But let's jump right into the news for today. Actually, before we even jump into the news, we're not eliminated from the playoffs yet. Less than a 1% chance, so it's not completely eliminated. I understand we're not going to make the playoffs, but it is not 100% over. But let's get into some of these updates coming from John Machota, who is pretty much, going to absolutely boss up here in this video. And he says on Twitter, the Cowboys designated the following players to return to practice: cornerback Josh Butler, running back Phil Maffa, and defensive end Peyton Turner. So a couple guys coming back to practice for Dallas. Two defenders, one offensive player. Phil Maffa was a 7th round pick. The running back was out of Clemson. He is going to fill into that running back 3 role, you would think, behind Malik Davis, who has gotten more run now that our coaching staff has decided that rookie running back out of Texas, Jaden Blue, is not worthy of playing time for whatever reason. Hopefully, Jaden Blue is able to make the most of his opportunities when he is on the field. It's most likely going to be special teams. But now that Phil Maffa is back activated off of IR, you would imagine that he will be getting touches over Jaden Blue, just because we have seen from the coaching staff that they don't like what they're seeing from Jaden Blue, whether that's purely X's and O's on the field stuff or there's stuff going on off the field. They don't like him. So unfortunately, that's what is going on with them. And speaking of not liking people off the field, coming from Ed Werder, NFL on Twitter as well, cornerback Trevon Diggs continues to practice in his attempt to convince the Cowboys coaches and front office to activate him from IR by the deadline this Saturday. If that doesn't happen, he's out for the season. When you put a player on IR, before they come off of it, first of all, you put them on IR, they have to go on IR for 4 weeks, meaning they're going to miss 4 games. So it's actually not 4 weeks, it's 4 games. If you have a bye week, that does not count as a week. That would have to be a 5th week because the player has to miss 4 games. Now, when they come back from IR, the first thing you do, as actually evidence here, you have to designate them to return to play. And what that does is it activates a 21-day window for that player to get back and get on the field. If they're not activated to the active roster in that 21-day period, then they're out for the rest of the year. So that's why teams make sure that they don't activate them. Or the word I'm supposed to be using here is designate. They make sure they don't designate them for return from IR before they actually know that they're going to be ready in the next 21 days, to make sure that if there's a setback, they don't make a mistake and leave the guy out for the season. But that's not what's going on with Trevon Diggs. If you were wondering, is there stuff going on behind the scenes? Is there not? There is 1,000,000% things going on behind the scenes, whether it is a work ethic issue, whether it's just a butting heads issue. There's clearly things going on, not football related, with Trevon Diggs. The concussion, who knows if he actually suffered a concussion off the field or not, but all that type of stuff, it's all bad when it comes to Trevon Diggs. Don't expect him to see him this Sunday. Don't expect him to see Trevon Diggs for the rest of the season. Jerry Jones came out and talked, and it's all bad. It's only bad news for Trevon Diggs. But a lot of people, myself included, know that Trevon Diggs doesn't have guaranteed money left on his contract, so it's not the worst thing in the world to just let him go, and that's what we are very likely, going to be doing this offseason. Now, our third update here, also coming from John Machota, Cowboys coach Brian Schottenheimer said Quinnen Williams, star defensive tackle acquired from the Jets, is doing better but still in concussion protocol. Unfortunately, this means that it is likely Quinnen Williams will be missing next week's game against the Chargers. Would love to have him. The whole defense is built from the inside out. He's our best interior defender. The defense, as bad as it's been, it's going to be even worse without Quinnen Williams, which is unfortunate that he has not been able to get over this concussion, but we traded for him, not just for this season, but for the future going forwards. So we want to make sure we do not rush him back. We do not want to make this injury worse for him. The nature of concussions, when you get one, and every subsequent concussion makes it easier to get them in the future. So we want to make sure that Quinnen Williams' future is as bright as it can possibly be for us, and we do not want to be rushing him back. We want to make sure that we are letting him get the most time to recover and all the time to recuperate that he could possibly need, just to make sure that we are going to treat him correctly so he can stay healthy and all that good stuff. But speaking of treating guys correctly, head coach Brian Schottenheimer was asked about defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus was the head coach of the Chicago Bears, then was fired from that job, understandably, hired to be the defensive coordinator for us for this season. And it's going pretty poorly if you watch any Dallas Cowboy game. From John Machota on X, he writes, Cowboys coach Brian Schottenheimer, when asked about his reaction to Jerry Jones essentially saying that defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus will be evaluated over the last 3 games, Brian Schottenheimer said, at the end of the day, we all understand the business that we're in. This is the National Football League. I think Flus is a great coach. We've not played well enough in that area. So, Shotty kept it pretty respectful, kept it pretty professional, but everyone knows that our defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, is on his last legs. He is going to be fired by Dallas. It's a question of when, not if. It's going to be likely it's going to be at the end of the season, but if he wants to get a jump on the offseason or he wants to do something else, he will ask Jerry Jones to be fired earlier, which is going to make a lot of sense. It will be a mutual parting of ways. Maybe he doesn't get fired. Whatever the verbiage they use for it and whatever wording it surrounds him no longer being the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, we know it's going to happen. Jerry Jones came out and when he's saying we're going to evaluate him, we've been evaluating him over the entire course of the season. We know exactly what Matt Eberflus is. We know what he isn't, and what he isn't is the long-term answer for our defensive coordinator. Yes, we traded away Micah Parsons. Yes, we made it at times more difficult on him personnel-wise. There were plenty of injuries this season on the defensive side of the football, but injuries are a part of football. It happens to every single team. This defense was not good enough. Micah Parsons or no Micah Parsons wasn't good enough. Averaging 30 points allowed per game, second worst in the NFL to only the Cincinnati Bengals. Fourth worst defense in yards per game allowed. Just absolutely horrible. Got a whole lot better when we got Logan Wilson, Quinnen Williams at the trade deadline, but it didn't get better enough. I know DeMarvin Overshown being injured sucks, but still just not good enough when it comes to coaching for Matt Eberflus. And we're going to have to see who the defensive coordinator is going to be going forwards here. But hey, season didn't go how we wanted it to, but I'm still going to be here laying down all the Dallas Cowboys updates that you could possibly need and talking about especially the NFL draft, or I guess free agency would be the next thing. We've got some big deadlines coming up, not all that soon for Dallas, but relatively soon, and I'll be here to break down all those when the news drops. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around and watched it all the way through, I appreciate you taking your time to do that. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Cowboys.